I'm Katrina Christensen, and my husband Kyle and I are building a tiny house here in Lakewood, Colorado. And we're building a gooseneck. It's 34 feet plus 7, so 41 total feet long by 8 feet wide. And we hope to be moving into it in June. We are using steel framing, cold form steel. It's kind of a custom steel framing system. TrailerMade makes this, and there are a few other companies that offer it. But it's about 30 to 40% lighter than traditional wood framing. So because our house is so big, we opted to go with something lighter, since it's such an important component. And it's supposed to be straighter and stronger and less susceptible to rot and different things over time. And then the zip panels, it's pretty common in industrial commercial construction, but not as much in residential. And so the zip panels are nice because it's basically your typical OSB sheathing with a waterproof coating on the outside. You don't have to use a house wrap or a plastic. So it's a little bit more breathable than a traditional stick frame house, and then waterproof in addition. So that'll help, especially while we build it, because it'll be outside for a while. I think it'll be easy. We'll see. It sounds easy, but it probably won't be. So yeah, we'll tape it up, and then it'll be sealed from the elements, and then we can start working on electrical and plumbing without having to worry until our siding is in. Yeah. Housing costs in Denver have been rising. We've been homeowners previously. Didn't necessarily love being stuck to one location. We've rented. We are renting. We don't necessarily love renting, and so since we don't really know where we want to be just yet, this is a nice housing alternative until we're ready to find a spot to park permanently. So that's the big one. And then financially, it's a much cheaper form of housing for us, and allows us to have more free time because we're not spending all of our money on our housing payment. And then simplicity and less stuff, kind of going against the grain of the American lifestyle. We like less. I don't want to clean. I don't have time for that. So less stuff, less cleaning, and more time all around. So technical square footage is 328, and if you count the lofts, then it's 498 square feet. So just under 500. Front, we plan on building something over the gooseneck to kind of hide our bicycles and outdoor equipment, and the propane tanks and stuff. So it'll just be like a little, we're going to call it our mini garage. But since the kids spend more time outside, and we'll spend even more time outside in a tiny house, then we want to have some space for all of their outdoor things. Next weekend, we will put the windows and the doors in, and then we can start on electrical and plumbing, insulation, and all the interior stuff. And then in June, our siding will be here, and it'll probably be our last step. And that's mainly because the siding material we chose has a pretty long lead time since it's coming from Australia.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and we knew that going into it, that it was going to be the longest, so we order that and we'll wait for it, and we'll do everything else in the meantime. And then so it'll be a nice green box for a couple of months, but a lot will be happening on the inside, and no one will know. So deciding exactly where everything's going to go, especially now that we can feel the space, and see, okay, how high is this, and how far apart is this, and where's the sink, and where do we need outlets. So that'll be the next big component. Ryan and Scott of Tiny Home Connection offer DIY build sites for like a monthly rental fee, and so we opted to park our house here while we build it, and then they get to offer some guidance and basically babysit us, since they're contractors and we're not, but we do all the legwork. So it's nice to have them to answer our 1,000 questions every day. You can YouTube a lot of things on how to build a house, but sometimes you just need someone to answer your questions directly. So that's what they're for. The idea of a tiny house came about in December. Late November, early December, we went to a tiny house festival. We stayed at Wicasa, which is a tiny house resort, got a feel for it, and then we ordered our trailer first week of January, and we started construction here February 17th. So pretty short.
Wow.
Most people dream about tiny houses for a long time. We move a little quicker than that. If we see something we want, we kind of tend to jump. So some people think it's too fast, but we like it. It works. We sold our almost 3,000 square foot house not even a year ago and moved into a 1,500 square foot house. Our old house had lots of stairs and a huge lot, and we ended up in a house half the size with no stairs and the same size lot, and we love it. And so every time we've kind of downsized, it feels better. And we don't even use a solid portion of our house currently, so we feel like it'll be just fine. And when we stayed at Wicasa, it was really, really nice to be in such a small space and not yelling across the house. We don't, I mean, you can't. There's no, like, you're all at close enough proximity that you can have a conversation. So, and if you forget something in the other room, it's 5 feet away instead of 20 feet away. So it's kind of a different feel.
Which unit did you stay at in Wicasa? What did you like about it?
We stayed at a few different ones. We stayed at the Steel House, which we really liked the open kitchen concept of that one, and the big window in the front. So we kind of mirrored our design in that section, the middle section of our house off of Steel House. And then we stayed in the Salida, which was really nice, and it had cork floors and a mini split and some different things, and they actually planned a spot for coats and shoes, which most tiny houses don't do, so it was really nice to see. And that house is very warm, so we liked some of the components that they did with that one. And then we stayed in the Pequod, which was cool. Lots of things about all of them that we liked, but then also things like, oh, that's not a good idea, or we thought something would work for us and we realized it wouldn't. So it was really nice to kind of get a feel for each one, pros and cons. And the Pequod has a catwalk, which is why we chose it, because the kids wanted a catwalk. So we get to see how they did their catwalk and design ours accordingly. The designing process was long and hard, and I think we probably drew the house and the layout 100 times. Watched a lot of YouTube videos, did a lot of tiny house like online tours, looked at a lot of different builder layouts to kind of see what other people did, but then also taking into account what was important to us and what we need. With 3 kids, we needed a full-size washer and dryer. A combination machine was not going to work, so we had to make sure we had space for that. And finding a space for 2 big appliances instead of 1 is a lot harder than it looks. So, and then with our bathroom, we purposely opted to put the toilet in a separate spot so that someone could be using the toilet while someone was using the sink or the shower, to kind of allow for less lines at the bathroom door. Since there are 5 of us, we currently have 2 bathrooms, and so downsizing to 1 bathroom isn't going to be a problem, but we knew we needed to divide those spaces. Keeping those things in mind, it's very much a custom home in every sense of the word. We definitely took ideas from other places like the Steel House, and I really loved the Pemberley, which Rocky Mountain Tiny Homes have done. They actually have some really cool ideas. Mitchcraft in Fort Collins was another one that had some really neat layouts, and so little different components of our house came from all of the great ideas I saw online, and then we kind of mixed them together for what we needed.